All right. Hello and welcome back to Tantrums and Tangents. I'm joined by Saber and Poison Rain.
Hello.
Hello.
A little bit of context. They are my friends from college. So yeah.
That's not...
Yes, that's you guys. So yeah, today we're going to talk about magic. There's a lot of different varieties and how you cast them and like what you need for them, and it's crazy how many different varieties there are from literature, games, and movies. But before we begin, let's introduce our beers. It's been a while since I've had a beer. And yeah, so I've got Leaning Kugels, Berry Weiss. It tastes like dark cherry soda. It's actually kind of amazing.
Heck yeah.
Legit.
Speaking of sodas, I've got Not Your Father's root beer. Look at that dapper gentleman.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That stuff is great.
You know it's good stuff when there's a dapper gentleman on the
It's
bottom.
true.
It is true. And I am drinking Henry's hard orange soda. Because
Sweet.
why the hell not, right?
Hey, Chicken Tendies, how's it going? Good to see you.
Hello.
All right, cool. So, I guess, how do you like your magic? I guess is how we should start off.
Right,
How
right.
do you like your magic?
How do you like yours?
I like flashy magic. I'm not gonna lie. I like it when the magic comes with like sparkles and flashbangs and glitter and loud, obnoxious noises. Like you know it's happening.
And transformations.
And magical girl transformations, which have most of those things I talked about.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know. I'm like many things. I am of two minds about magic. I am super like into like non-visual like super subtle magic when I don't actually get to look at it. Like if it's in a book or something like that, like
Yeah.
that is when that's when I want my magic to be like subtle, part of a mystery, whatever, cool shit. If I'm looking at it, I want to see something. I want to see it explode. So
You like your magic burny and explosive. Nice.
burning,
Nice.
explosive.
Yes, that's right.
See, Lost Fleet's, got it figured out.
Yeah. I like, my favorite kind of magic are those big, elaborate rituals. Like
Right,
that
those are-
may require more than one person. They have to make like some sort of circle. They've got like little components and candles and shit. And like, it could be a simple thing like, I lost my keys. But like, that's the spell they have to do to find a lost item.
Yes.
Yeah, but like, let's be fair. When you have to do that level of ritual, it's not that you lost your keys. It's
No.
that you lost the key to the gates of hell. So...
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, that's like my favorite kind of magic. It takes some setup
Right.
and some nice arcane knowledge to be able to gather everything together, and then you get a few of your magic friends and I don't know, summon some ancient god.
Like,
Yeah.
Because it's a
Summon-
Saturday.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we do on Saturdays.
Right, yeah,
Why not?
demon summoning. It's what you do.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it's kind of crazy because there's a lot of different like things involved in like magic.
Right.
Let's start off with the D&D because that has some really intense sort of rules for magic.
Let
Yeah,
me
it
tell
does.
you about D&D magic. I hate it. I hate D&D magic.
It is like the opposite of the things that Poison enjoys about magic.
Magic should be fun. It should make you look like a badass, and you should feel like a badass when you do it. Whenever I try to do magic in D&D, I feel the opposite of all those things.
Interesting. Yeah, because there's components, right? Not just physical, like there are also physical, like you might need like some bones or something else like on your person in order to cast a spell. But
Yep.
like you also need to be able to vocalize something, say words.
Yep.
And you also have to make small hand gestures.
Sometimes large hand gestures.
Sometimes large hand gestures.
You need to roll concentration to even see if you can keep doing the magic.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're like, I fucking did it. And then it's like, oh, you need to roll something again.
Oh, somebody hit you for 1 point of damage. Roll concentration to keep shooting lightning out of your hand.
Yeah. But yeah.
I feel like concentration, if it was, like, if it had, like, a limiter on it, and you could totally house roll this, right? Like, but, like, if it was, like, 3 times your current level in damage, or like even just 1 times your current level in damage that you could just soak without having to roll the concentration, it might be better. That way you don't end up with like a level 1 character who gets like pinged for 1 damage from something and then has to make the concentration check, right?
I don't know though, like thinking of it like in a realistic perspective.
Sure.
I don't know why my mind went there. But it did. Okay. Pretty much the only thing I can think of that's closest to casting magic
right,
is taking a massive shit. You have to put so much concentration into it and so much force, so much mental focus when you're taking a massive shit.
You might have to see a doctor about that, because like the last thing I ever worry about while I'm on the toilet
is losing
focus while I'm taking a massive
Well, anyway, that's the closest thing I can think of at the moment. If a guy punched me in the face while I was trying to take a shit, I don't know if I'd be able to take a shit, okay? Let alone be shot by an arrow.
I could punch that jerk.
Right. Yeah. Asshole. Why is he... What? Why did some guy just break into your bathroom to punch you in the face?
While you were shitting.
This is a bigger problem than you're going to lose your concentration during that. The bigger problem is, why the fuck is there an intruder in your home?
This is totally hypothetical, okay? Because I just said, what if I got shot with an arrow as well? Right? Like, I feel like if you're going to be that good at concentration with magic, you'd actually have to like almost like Rocky situation, like be intoning a spell and like just have a whole bunch of people like absolutely just wail on you. Because otherwise, I don't think you're combat ready.
Where's the other thing? If you're a magic user, you shouldn't be within...
Right, you don't actually
range.
want to be in punching range. But I was thinking more of like ranged combat anyways.
Yeah.
Like a goblin has like a dart gun or something, and or a blowgun, I guess would be more specific to the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like the other thing is that like the assumption at this point is that spellcasters in Dungeons and Dragons just have no training whatsoever in how to take a hit.
Well, I mean,
that's very because have you seen the way wizards are built?
Yes, but at the same time, yeah, sure, magic is highfalutin and stuff, but if you're going to be a war mage, like if your intention is to go out into the world and be able to cast magic in a battle situation,
right. Your teacher
wizards
probably...
should be on top of this shit. There's a deeper problem here that's not Dungeons and Dragons and Constitution saves. It's why aren't the wizards training properly?
You're right.
It's
they
true.
Really should have masters who sneak up on them while they're shitting and punch them in the face to get them ready for combat.
Yeah, when you least expect it, exactly. Because the last time you want to be caught with your pants down is when you're caught with your pants down.
Right. Exactly. So there we go.
All right.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to jump on the rag on D&D train on this one, but if we're gonna talk about magic in Dungeons and Dragons, I don't actually like the limit on how many spells per day you can cast. Like,
yeah,
if I can draw a direct
like
comparison, I like the way Dungeon World does it, which is when you roll to cast a spell, if you roll badly, you can choose to not be able to cast that spell anymore. In D&D, it's just a straight resource, though. Like, you have this number, you can use it now, or you can use it later.
Right.
Yeah,
But
and
that's it.
it could be one of those things where we have no idea how to understand magic. Therefore, that stuff works. But at the same time, like, the way that wizards work in D&D is essentially you have basically so many imaginary, like, slots that you can house spells. And so if you have 4 slots, those are 4 spells that you can use per day.
Yes.
And then you have your freebie cantrips that you can use, which are sort of like minor parlor tricks to maybe a lightning bolt.
Right. Now, if I can wax philosophical here for just a second, as I am wont to do, Dungeons and Dragons magic is actually based on a literary work, or the literary work of an author named Vance. And Vance developed this system called Vancian magic, unimaginatively.
He just wanted to feel special.
Right. So Vancian magic works like this. Wizards of a particular ability, like their intelligence and their like practice at doing magic, lets them remember a certain number of spells. I feel like I need to read chat, but I can't actually read chat right now.
It's amazing.
They're not wrong. That is what's going to happen.
Well, yes, fair.
The rare loot of soiled paths.
Yes, indeed. But anyways, so yeah, like in Vancian magic, you can remember a certain number of spells. The higher level the spell, so to speak, like the more complicated and devastating it is, the harder it is to remember because it is longer. It's like a mathematical formula that you have to like dedicate to memory. But as soon as you cast the magic, like the arcane forces of the universe whisk it out of your mind completely.
Yeah, and that's the part that makes me like, wait, how did that happen?
Right. Well, it makes sense within the context of the fiction that like it was meant to like emulate, but in the modern day, when most people who are playing D&D don't know what the fuck Vancian magic is, only understand that you can cast 3 level 1 spells a day. So, like, it's gone from being fictionally appropriate to being just mechanical instead of having a context for people. So, like, that's, I don't know. It's interesting that was the way D&D wanted to be originally. I don't think that that's something that they should should be continuing with like the new editions of D&D. Although, to be fair, if they got rid of it, I feel like there's a whole bunch of people who'd just be like, why is magic different? It's not supposed to be this way. So
right.
So Chicken Tendies prefers magic as if it is a thought process.
Right.
And I agree there, where it's you have a state of mind or a memory and you just recite that and then you do that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's a great system of magic
fuck
too.
yeah,
like,
Doctor Strange.
Right?
Doctor Strange magic.
Yeah.
It's good magic.
Hey Skadoosh, how's it going? Good to see you.
But yeah, chicken tendies. Like that is a great system by which magic can be done. And there's like, yeah, like and that's like, as far as I am concerned, that shit's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know how to do a spell because I fucking learned how to do it is like a great way to handle magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like in general, I'm a big fan of those big, magic rituals. But like if I was to choose, like if I really needed to use magic, it'd be the kind of magic that it's just a swift motion, not complicated. I don't have to say any words. I just fucking cast a fireball, like real simple, real easy, but still flashy.
Make some hand circles. We'll be good.
But there's also like, it's cool because not only do you have to know the spell, you have to believe in yourself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Important
all about
thing.
magic that requires belief in yourself, belief in your friends, belief in something.
Yeah.
And that's what fuels it.
Conviction. Conviction-based magic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Skyrim. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although it would be interesting to see a mod for Skyrim where you had to intone a spell and have to worry about the timing of, I have to do some crazy hand gestures before this dude comes at me with like a giant 2-handed sword.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like Harry Potter nonverbal magic. Yeah.
Although
Right.
I don't hate the verbal magic of Harry Potter.
No, I don't. I don't hate verbal magic.
And you're done. You're good.
Right.
The way I see it though is if you are going to use verbal magic or complicated magic, it should be inherently more powerful because you're doing more to cast it. Boy, this is not Naruto. I was just making weird hand gestures, trying to not attribute it to anything, but that kind of did look like I was making a shadow clone.
Something like that.
Either that or like some Power Rangers stuff. I don't know.
Now it's the Macarena. What's
Everything's
happening?
always the Macarena. It all comes back to that.
Oh gosh. But yeah, one of the things like is a big trope in magic is that you need a certain type of armor or lack thereof in order to cast magic,
Right.
which
Yeah,
sort of
right.
comes with the whole if you need to do hand gestures, you can't wear like chainmail or plate gauntlets because it'll
Right,
like
now,
muffle how you can move your hands.
I get it when it comes to like wearing like gauntlets and gloves and stuff, like because that shit could be problematic. I don't know why people can't wear like a breastplate.
Yeah. Or just clothes sometimes.
Yeah.
Why aren't people wearing clothes sometimes?
Right.
When they do magic.
Right.
No, we haven't opened that door, Lost Fleet. No. And hey, Alexio, how's it going? Yeah, it just,
I mean, we
just
have-
wait patiently. I'm almost done casting my spell. That's how I feel in
Just
Dragon's
stay there.
Dogma all the time.
Yeah, I see that happen to you often when you're playing that game, man. Just like, hold on, guys, hold on. I need to get to the high level. I just have to keep doing it a little bit longer. Keep my focus.
I know.
And then like some small tremor rolls by and you trip and fall and
Yeah.
you have to start all over again.
But when it comes down to it, like, for party dynamics, the wizard's like the lead singer of a band. They're big and explosive, but like when it comes down to it, their teamwork really is just I'm gonna sit in the back, let you do all the work, and then I'm gonna do something
Right.
big and flashy.
And everybody will love me.
Yeah,
That's how wizards work.
yeah.
Which is why I don't play them.
Right, right.
Although now I want to play a rock and roll wizard now.
I mean, that'd be
We can
pretty
make
cool.
that-
We can make that happen.
I mean
Yeah,
that is a type of magic actually. Bards.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
No,
totally
bards
different
do all-
kind of magic.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, no, that's legit. Speaking of which, and this is like one of my preferred kinds of magic because like I know that I say I want it to be like huge and explosive and flashy and shit. In Apocalypse World, there's a class called the Show, and the Show plays music, and they have these ridiculous like powers that they can do when they just act when they like play music. They have like the strangest names. One of them I think is like the sound a vulture's beak makes when it scrapes across your skull, and like
Holy shit.
right, like they're super metal.
They do shred their magical guitar.
They do shred, like that's the thing they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I can't remember what the effect does to save my life. But like there's another one like
People's
when
ears bleed.
right, yeah. But no, I think it's actually like bigger than that. There's another one that's like the sound that that brass armies make when they march to war or some shit like that. And like yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. They all do different things. They're all fucking awesome. And when you do them, you can choose to do the magic thing, or you can choose to get paid a lot.
Interesting. Interesting.
So like you can completely skip the part where you do the magic in order to like get paid like 10 coin or some ridiculous shit.
Holy shit.
Just for everybody paying attention. If you do a normal job in Apocalypse World, you might get 2 or 3 coin or barter. These guys like do a single song and get 10. So it's a lot. It's a huge boost.
Freaking A. But yeah,
Right.
bards, man, their magic is so different because it's based on either singing or using an instrument, and
Right.
it's usually it's either inspirational or it's a little bit harmful, but it's like a buff debuff situation where all the enemies have a harder time concentrating, or they're silenced, or they can't hear very well. They have like some cacophonous thing that they do.
In D&D, the bards can do things like cast darkness and shit, so...
Or they can be very charismatic and persuasive.
Right, that also.
Mm-hmm.
There are many ways to be a bard.
Yeah, that's true. But speaking about magic and instruments like together, what is your opinion of magical instruments?
I think one of my favorite things in any game are magical artifacts.
Right.
That is why literally in every video game I will sell my soul in order to get more of them, because they're so cool and I don't give a shit.
I want to see you play the game where you actually have to do that. Like sell souls in order to get magic artifacts.
That would be pretty sweet. But no, like there's some pretty...
Magical instruments are shit chicken tendies.
Have you ever played Ocarina of Time?
I mean, that's a musical instrument. Holy shit.
There's a... What if the magical instrument is an artifact, though?
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about here, right? Like, we're talking like pan flutes that summon minotaurs and shit like that.
Right. There's a what is it? Devil May Cry. There's you one of the weapons that you have is like a guitar, and like it summons the power of like lightning and fire and thunder.
As all guitars should.
As all guitars should.
Yeah. There's actually a weapon type in chicken tendies.
Wow, man. Wow, that's harsh.
Damn. Anywho, but yeah, so like in Monster Hunter, there's actually a weapon type where it's basically like the Warhorn. And it's used like an actual weapon. Like it's like it has like a bagpipe sort of thing, and you can either whack people with it, or you can actually like flip it over and start playing it, and it actually like does that sort of buff or debuff sort of thing, which is pretty cool.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. Yeah, really, a fiddle that summons the devil. Yeah, friggin' A.
That sounds safe.
Similar to pan flutes that summon minotaurs, but not the same.
Yeah.
Friggin' A.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. So, okay. So I'm pretty sure I know where the answer is going to come from, but I don't actually know what the answer is. What is your favorite, like, magical artifact from anything?
My favorite magical artifact from anything. There's a ring in Morrowind. Yeah, there's a ring in Morrowind that you get it in Solstheim. And it's the ring that allows you to turn into a werewolf. It's essentially it's the last thing that you get, basically. And it's the thing that actually allows you to control being a werewolf. Because previously you've just been like forced to like tear some wild witches and wizards apart and like all this sort of stuff, but like you can actually choose to take off the ring, become a human again, or put it back on whenever you want to, which is a huge boon, because it's one of those situations like you can't normally do quests because you're a werewolf, and like there's this social aspect you can't do because essentially you are a monster. So it's a ring that allows you to become a monster whenever you want.
Whenever you.
Yeah, whenever best fits the situation, which I think is huge.
Sweet. How about you boys?
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. The only thing I can think about is Zelda stuff, because I've been playing Breath of the Wild for like a month now, and that's all I've got. Just various Zelda things. Breath of the Wild is the first one where I don't have like a magical musical thing.
Yeah.
There's like no magical musical instruments, and it's weirding me out. There are songs that lead you to things, but there's no instrument, and it's weird. It's really weird to me.
The One Ring's a good choice too,
Yeah,
it
for
is.
sure.
Invisibility plus madness.
Plus, if you know how to control it, like phenomenal cosmic power.
Yeah,
Um,
of course. Yeah. You just have to, be in that right mindset of not losing your mind.
Right.
I can't imagine playing a dumbass song to kill a guy because there are words of power in many, either mythologies or like cultures. So you could totally sing a song to kill a guy.
Yeah.
It's totally a thing.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do was, I want to eventually do this in the game, but I want to play an evil bard who doesn't buff anything or anything like that, but like is just some super awful guy who always just casts nasty spells using magic.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Interesting convoy. I'll have to take a look into it. I'll take a look into it first.
But yeah, magic's cool.
Magic is pretty sweet. But yeah, I always find that there's different types of magic, right? Like there's the wizard type magic where it's based on knowledge. There's the sorcerer type magic, and I'm just using like general things right here, but like sorcerer type magic where it's a source from within and you call upon it. It's like determination, belief, that sort of thing, and you are able to just cast spells by will. And there's also like the ritual magic, like you either pray to some being or something like that, and you basically gain your powers from somewhere else.
Right. And like a lot of people think that's, or like usually associate that, at least I do, with like external bad sources of like power, but it's also true for like clerics and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like people who get their powers from like a god or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, so like there's that pact magic goes throughout the entire gamut of alignments and morality.
Oh, right? Yeah, because you could gain your powers from a demon or something.
Right. So yeah, right. Like there's like the god of light and justice gives his paladins and clerics like phenomenal magics, and then also like on the other side there's like this demon who gives the like his blackguards and like vile priests and like and acolytes the like his types of magic as well. Generally it's more hurty and burny than like the god of light would be. But then you've also got like those weird like patrons, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They're like fairies or whatever. They don't necessarily like have the same morality as people, so that you can't really say they're good or bad. Yeah,
like they're so out of your realm that basically they're just giving you magic to see what you'll do with it.
Sometimes, yeah. Like there's definitely those ward gods and like powerful beings that do that. They're just like,
try this.
Let's just give that to them, see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Came home with a new toy for the pet. See if he likes it.
You like the Doctor Strange magic the best? I really enjoyed that movie. Yeah. That was some really cool stuff.
Right. Yeah, like then there's even in like D&D in 5th edition they have a warlock pact that's like to the forgotten like gods and stuff like that, and it's basically like unknowable horrors like Cthulhu. You can like whisper into people's minds and like drive people mad and all sorts of shit. So like, and like I would say
That's
that
terrifying.
right, but like I wouldn't even say that like there's a way to understand what Cthulhu is doing with like human pawns in that regard. Just that he might have them.
Yeah.
for some unknowable purpose.
Yeah.
Like that can be true of any creature or being that is of substantial enough power that their machinations don't mean anything to us because they're beyond the scope of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch
I mean,
out for
that's a
those.
huge
Those are
thing,
the worst
right?
kinds.
Yeah. It's complicated at first, chicken tendies. Definitely.
Right, sure.
D&D can be, depending on what class and stuff you're playing, it can be sort of muddled down, but eventually you do get into a rhythm. You know what rolls you have to make, you know what dice you have to use, and then eventually it just becomes smooth after that. So
Don't
Right.
start with a wizard.
Yeah, starting with a magic class might not be the best choice for ease of access.
or at the very least, if you're gonna use any sort of magic, make it so that you're some sort of knight, or you have a lot of cantrips or like first level spells you can use infinitely, that sort of thing.
Right. Yeah, not having to worry about that counter on how many spells you have is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what about like magic that infects things?
Oh, that's an interesting one.
That's cool magic.
Right.
That's like
That's-
necromancy and stuff.
Subtle, but also flashy.
Right.
But are you also like referring to like necromancy?
Sort of, right? Like, so what I was actually thinking of was this thing that that I've seen like happen in a couple pieces of fiction. Not that any are really occurring to me right now. But like this using magic is like tainting in some way. Like when you use it, you're slowly like eating away at some interior fortitude that you have, and like so like it starts to like kill you, like in this weird existential way. And then also like you doing it, like letting other people see you do it, sort of like lets them realize that they could too. So like the bacteria, so to speak, the virus of magic spreads.
Yeah, so it's sort of like that forbidden knowledge sort of thing that you just realized magic is real, now you're obsessed by it, and now it's eating away at you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, example that didn't actually happen in real life, but sort of a hypothetical thing. Like, what if Hagrid had showed up and told Harry, like, "You're a wizard, Harry," and then like took him to Diagon Alley, did the whole thing. They got to Hogwarts, and then Dumbledore was like, "Nah, take him back."
Yeah.
Like, how different would that book have been, right?
Yeah, right? Like, or you're kicked out of Hogwarts and not allowed to use magic or something like that.
Exactly. Right? Like, yeah, it'd be an incredibly different story.
Mhm.
And
It'd be a much darker story.
it would be a much darker story.
Actually, that's if people know the sci-fi show Magicians, that's pretty much what it's about. There's a magic school,
Right.
and they, there's those hedge wizards that are not professionally trained and are very desperate to get back into magic.
And
Also,
they're
if
assholes.
you start watching, it gets better the more episodes you watch.
That is true.
Don't judge it by like the first episode.
Yeah, no.
It's not a great first episode.
Nope.
But
There's
it gets better.
there's some weird stuff in that show. Let's
Yeah.
be fair.
Yeah.
It gets
Always,
better.
if we ever
There's
make
stuff-
reference to a show, look at the ESRB rating and shit like that.
Yeah, that for sure. So, anyways,
Just wanted to throw that out there, just in case I get any angry calls. My little boy is tainted for life.
he found the magic.
Yes, he'll be getting his acceptance letter soon.
Oh my.
So yeah, like
Hey.
I was watching Magicians and like I was thinking about this whole idea that like somehow the knowledge that magic exists is like a drug, right? Like doing it makes you desperate for more, and you'll do anything like to get more and to be able to do and learn more, right?
I mean,
And, like,
that. It's not just magic too. Like thinking about it, it's also very Lovecraftian. That whole that you think everything's normal, and then you learn the shadows of the dark and the things like sort of beyond what you think is real, and then like you're forever changed because you realize that like there's freaking fish people.
Right. Yeah, no, deep ones are no joke. Like, they sound funny, but they're horrifying.
No, exactly.
Gulpers and anglers and whatnot from Far Harbor, right? So
can't wait to find those guys.
Oh my god, you and me both, man. I went. Like,
Did you?
That's the thing. I'm there. I protected the hull or whatever, and I've currently got the quest to go see old Longfellow. So
nice. I'm a huge fan of summoning magic, though. Like in general,
right.
Holy crap.
Shit's cool.
Like, Final Fantasy is basically like, when you want to be a summoner, like, that's the shit you want to do.
Oh, that's actually accurate. Yeah. I do like that that's how the hierarchy for Final Fantasy goes. It's like, you can cast some spells, but if you really want to fuck some shit up, summon some badass things.
I feel like in general, JRPGs are really good about making summoners badasses.
That's true. Now, like, I don't know. There's
there are definitely some that aren't.
Yeah.
But that's true of anything.
Yeah.
There's always
you gotta start. Really... You always have to start off with your little scamp or your little imp, because you're not a master of summoning.
Right.
You can't control the tiger god. Don't try.
Yet.
Yet.
Just wait until I get the magical artifacts that will let me control the tiger god.
And then they feast on your soul after you die.
Right. I mean, that'll be fine. It'll be fine. But for a small amount of time, when the power is raging through me, I will be invincible.
And then you'll burn into a husk, and your soul will be sacrificed to the tiger god.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's normal.
I'm fine with this. I want the infinite power.
Oh man.
I don't care if it only lasts like not even a day.
Now I'm thinking of summoning as some sort of addiction.
See, that'd be cool.
Yeah, you gotta keep. Okay, I'm not gonna say it.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you have to keep chasing the next big rush.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
keep
there you
getting
go.
Stronger summons so that you can get the same rush that you got when you first summoned your scamp. You know.
Procrastinator fabulous.
How you doing, man?
Hey.
But yeah, I don't know.
You know. It's a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you just like jotting down the summoning as a drug?
No. But I mean, it is interesting, isn't it?
It is.
I didn't know if that was going to be like a character you played at some point.
I mean, that would be interesting, right? Like you summon one thing and you're like, I gotta summon something else, something bigger this time.
Bigger.
Something different.
So many scamps just isn't doing it for me, man. I need something bigger.
I must have squirrels.
Squirrels?
Yeah, they're after scamps.
Oh, okay.
No, unfortunately not Procrastinator Fabulous.
I do, man.
Oh, you do?
I'm old enough to get.
Are you talking about the Super Bowl commercial from a long, long time ago?
They also did it in Scary Movie.
Oh, they did. Gotcha. Okay. I would have used Z's for the what's up though. But...
Yeah. What's that?
What's that?
Anyway, I don't know, man. Like, so we've talked a lot about like arcane magic and stuff. What about like nature magic and shit, like druids and all that crap?
Oh shit, yeah. Because we've talked about sort of either knowledge or inner will or a elder being of some sort and description.
Right, external magic, right? Yeah.
But yeah, the nature magic, yeah. Oh gosh.
Oh my. Well then.
Yeah, we have a thing for links. We need to get approval first before that. It's no problem, man.
Oh my.
Nope.
Yeah, that's a big no.
Nature magic.
Nature
yeah.
magic.
Yeah.
So that's cool because it's like you're making friends with bears and bees and trees, and then you harness that friendship to kill things that try to kill your friends.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what I do.
Really, everything comes back to the power of friendship.
and destroying your enemies.
And destroying your enemies. And bloodlust. All those things are
All those things are real. Anyways, but yeah, like there's I don't know, how would you even like begin talking about like nature magic, right? Like it's so vast. Like it does all the same stuff. Yeah, it does all the same stuff that like regular arcane magic does, but then like I think it adds like an extra flavorful layer on top of it. Like sprinkles on your ice cream, or like
sprinkles on your
fudge or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is pretty interesting though, because sometimes it is a being like nature. It's considered a being. Sometimes it's like just the general concept of it that gives power.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sweet. Like it's not just like some like mother nature. It's actually like all of the bears and all of the grass and trees and stuff like that. It's this like collective nature, which is interesting.
Right.
The sort of wild force, that like powers everything.
Exactly. Yeah, and that powers everything part was what I was actually thinking of, because like when you get when you start talking about nature magic, at some point it can lead to a discussion about like the connectedness of everything, which leads you to like that one whole world concept, which can really sort of end up being like you control the magic or you control the nature because you are the nature. It's like an extension of you kind of thing. Right?
Yeah. Because you're not excluding yourself from the magic itself. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not
taking control of it. You're a part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it controls you and you control it. Like it's this weird like philosophical approach to the way magic is done for like nature magic. I really dig it.
And actually, like now that you're saying that, it's almost reminds me a lot of The Last Airbender, like element bending. You're not technically you're taking control of it, but you can't like make the earth into a lava river. Like there's only so much that nature or that element will allow, because it is the way it is, and you sort of move with it.
Right.
Yes. It's all about how you shape it through like your chakras and the way you move your arms, and it's cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's cool shit.
It is cool. Yeah, like.
But yeah, if you are the avatar, you can just fucking bend reality.
Yeah, right. Like that's legit. Like, but like that gets into something that's even more than like just doing like bending and whatnot, right? Because like, there's that trick that Aang learns at the very end, which is like spirit bending, and like. In a lot of ways that like crosses the barrier from like nature for a lot of people, because like there's this idea that people are distinct from nature in a lot
Mm.
which is an illusion that people tell themselves.
Like because they can control it, or they've because of farming or like lumber, they've taken control of it and therefore they're higher than it or something like that.
Right, exactly. But like I dig that as like a concept for a character, that there's like that like everything is holistically the same no matter what you're looking at. Because
we are all just stardust.
Right, exactly. Like it's everything is made of the same stuff. We're all connected. There's a series of like cycles that we're all connected to as well, and like that connectedness empowers you to have this magic.
Which is kind of the Doctor Strange magic.
Right. In like a weird way, yeah.
Yeah.
It's good
So,
shit.
yeah, I dig it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
And of course she gets crazy when you start doing the extra dimensional stuff.
right, yeah, that's true too. That's when things like move over from just being like super cool and like maybe a little weird to like actually being weird and like straight up trippy.
Because then it's not just your magic, it's your magic from another dimension, and they might do magic differently.
Yeah, that
And then I've always found really fascinating is magic combination.
Yeah.
So like the sort of mixture of science and magic.
Right.
Like you've made a machine and it casts fireballs, but it's not oil, it's actually like some sort of forever burning ember or something that powers it.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, Magitech.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that shit's cool. I like Magitech a lot. Mostly because like I'm thinking of a lot of examples suddenly, but like Jade Punk has it. Like, you know, because the magically imbued stones that you use to like work
Create
into
amazing
like
machines.
crazy shit that gives like a really awesome like steampunk kind of feeling. Super cool.
Mhm.
But like that's the thing, right? Like Magitech is ultimately like an extension or like a divergence from like steampunk, because steampunk in a way is its own kind of magic. Like
Yeah.
because it's this magic of science, right? Like we have this technology, it's crazy powerful. We can use it in any way we want to do any limited or unlimited number of things. In fiction, it doesn't have to follow the rules of actual mechanics, right?
Right.
So it's one of those things where we substitute technology for magic, which is just another interesting way of like telling cool shit, like telling cool stories and stuff.
I always like it too when they're like, it's that like magic technology either from the future, so we
Right.
have that to look forward to, or it's like magic technology from the past of like, oh, you forgot how to do this.
Right,
Mm.
But you could. Maybe one day you'll remember again.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
that's
no,
like
that's-
that crazy stuff like bring an iPhone back to the 1800s and see what'll happen.
How
They
many
will burn
people
you.
will burn you for a witch? That's the
Exactly.
Maybe that's what started the witch hunts. Time
Right?
travel.
Time travelers? Okay,
Those
well, that's fair.
fuckers.
Those assholes. They had no idea. The
Now I
ramifications.
need to research this stuff and see if there's some sort of device that all the magic users, maybe wands.
Right.
Wands are like some futuristic thing that we haven't figured out yet, like the eye stick or something like that.
What, the
I mean-
ice stick.
Selfie sticks.
Holy shit!
They're magic. They capture the essence of whatever is in front of them. They suck your soul away.
Now I'm just imagining like
We figured it out, guys.
now
Look
I'm
at
just
it.
imagining white Starbucks girls taking selfie sticks back to like different periods of time. Selfie with the caveman.
Oh!
They're all dead.
Right.
They're all dead. Yeah.
Plus, we bring back like that new like super flu or whatever we've got currently back to way back when,
Yeah, let's
Okay.
not.
and like kickstart viral evolution like by a million years.
Yeah, don't time travel, kids. It's a bad idea.
Don't do it. It's a bad
Bad.
choice. You don't want to do
You
it.
don't want to mess with the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
It's bad stuff.
No.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about that for a second. Time travel. What kind of crazy bullshit magic is that?
That's
It's-
yeah. When it comes to magic, like that's a huge thing. Yeah.
Right? Like what? They do it in the Elder Scrolls. Spoilers.
Oh yeah. It's not spoilers at this point. It was spoilers maybe 10 years ago.
Right.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who does it, but like to be fair to Doctor Who, like yeah, it's like magical, but they never use it like it's magic. It's just a vehicle by which to tell the story.
Well, that's because the TARDIS is kind of broken.
A little, sometimes.
Not all the time.
Not always broken.
Always.
let's see. There's another example of like this: the magic is science, or the science is magic. There was a book by Michael Crichton called Timeline, which was about how you could use quantum physics and like understanding how that shit works in order to like go back in time. And like the initial idea was that there were these scientists who were just going to do that to find out if it was one, possible, and two, like how far back they could go. But like the weird thing was that like what they were doing was they were slipping out of our current timeline where they ceased to exist entirely forever, and then would slide into a different like quantum timeline that was parallel to their own, so as to not be in like some weird fucked up universe where up is down and black is white and fish are dogs. So like
What?
yeah, exactly.
Take my fish for a walk.
Right?
Yeah, you know, whatever.
I mean, yeah, so but yeah, so like a sufficiently close parallel universe where there's very little deviation from your current like universe, right? And then you go back by slipping into a universe where yourself had actually already gone back in time. It's weird shit. Like when you start talking about quantum mechanics and different timelines, it gets fucking strange.
Oh yeah.
If you research it, there's lots of instances of shit like that happening in our world. Because I watch a lot of History and Discovery Channel,
Right,
so I know this shit.
Right, exactly.
But like some of them are like, it's just crazy. You'll have to look it up. I can't do it justice right now. I'm too not your father's root beers in.
I absolutely would need to like have something to draw on in order to like really make it obvious what I'm talking about.
Right.
But yeah, like the assumption being that there's an infinite number of universes, some of which are very incredibly similar to yours. Like to the point where like instead of grabbing a Pop-Tart, you had a bowl of cereal yesterday.
Or it's like Istanbul never became Constantinople.
Right. Or the dinosaurs never died out.
Oh fuck, I don't want to be in that one.
Like there's like
we
that's
are the
idea.
dinosaurs.
Right, exactly. Like instead of being humans,
Yeah,
the intelligent species is dinosaurs, and they're several million years ahead of where we're at.
Stupid mammals.
Now I'm just imagining like
They'll show up
dinosaurs in
suddenly,
lab
they're
coats.
like, what is this crazy alien ape that wears clothes? It appears to be mammalian in origin. That's preposterous. We ate those a million years ago. Like, this is the kind of ridiculous shit that you get when you start fucking around with like quantum physics, right? So
It actually gets kind of interesting because there's a type of magic, and it was an Enderal that I was sort of introduced to this.
no,
where-
it's exactly
Yeah, where it's not your will is somehow transcending your own universe and
Yeah.
taking the infinite possibilities into account to basically cast a spell. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not casting a fireball, really.
Yeah.
You're stealing it from another dimension where you could cast a fireball.
correct. And
Yeah.
thus leaving that version of you fucked because he didn't get that fireball.
You killed that guy.
You killed that poor version of you. You sick fuck.
That would almost be a really cool like story focusing on the other guy, right?
Other guy,
the
like,
guy you always screw over because you're like just taking all of his like survivability away.
If I may, there's an anime, a certain scientific railgun, which is somewhat about that. This guy has
There
like
you
the
go.
worst luck ever, just the worst. But what he does is he has a magical power, which is that he cancels out everybody else's magical power. So what he's effectively doing is transporting a different universe into his reality where nobody is magical. And he gets the short end of the stick because in order to balance out this weirdness, he is incredibly unlucky.
It's all about equivalent exchange.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to the equivalent exchange thing.
And
Let's
that's
talk
some
that
cool
out.
magic. Holy shit. Frickin' Full Metal Alchemist. That's some cool magic.
Right?
I know
that
we
shit's
said
awesome.
we were opening the anime door, but I
It's
feel
too
like
late. Anime door's open.
I
Let's
mean,
do
that's
it.
just another kind of magic at this point.
isn't it?
Anime.
And it's
Anime.
it's
Magic.
anime magic. It's real.
Magical girls, Full Metal Alchemists, chi energy. I'm done. Anime is now talked about.
Yep. So, I mean, but that's a little bit ritual magic in
A little,
Full Metal
yeah.
Alchemist. You have to have
Oh,
enough
no.
knowledge. It's like a mixture of ritual and chemistry.
Right.
You have to have
Which-
enough knowledge of the periodic table, but you also need to know these runes and circles and symbols.
Unless you did the magic thing where you cheated death.
Then you just have to clap your hands together.
Then you have to clap your hands together because
And
you
magic.
remember the entire codified universe.
But really, you shouldn't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
I
That's a
would-
terrible choice.
not
The
a good
price is too high.
Not good. It's not good.
Yeah, no.
Your sibling becomes a suit of
They're-
armor.
They're
Spoilers,
very,
the alchemist
very.
stone is evil.
Yeah.
You did.
There are very, very few times in any magic media at all where bringing someone back to life is really like no strings attached.
Dungeons and Dragons.
On the rare occasion that you have a resurrection spell that's like doesn't require a sacrifice.
Right.
Right.
And those are very rare. Or if you have a Phoenix down, of course.
Right. To be fair, like the D&D thing is that you have to have 10,000 gold pieces worth of diamonds, right? Like
What?
exactly-
That's the component you need for resurrection?
Yeah,
Holy
10,000 gold
shit.
pieces worth of diamonds.
Yeah, it's not exactly no
It's not cheap.
cash.
It's not cheap.
Fuck.
You gotta be committed to bringing that person back.
It may take you years.
But you can.
But
Well,
you can do it.
well, you also need to like have part of them
Right.
still able to be like fresh enough to not be a rotted bone.
So you have to leave them in like the
Otherwise,
ice.
right? Otherwise, it's
Find the
necromancy.
Antarctic Circle. Put them in there.
Well, there's also the spell called Gentle Repose.
See, this is what I'm talking about with D&D magic being too fucking complicated.
Right.
I mean, yeah, when you
I mean,
start
one
making a
way to
list
do
of
something.
magic and they all have unique names, does get a little crazy.
Yeah, no,
but
that's-
that's when you're a
I
wizard.
don't-
Because when you're a wizard, you're expected to know all that shit.
Right, that's true. But like that's actually the thing that I don't like about D&D magic, the lists. I hate lists of magic spells in games. Granted, like video games it's kind of impossible to get around because like you can't well, okay, let me rephrase. I don't know of an elegant way to code infinite possibilities with magic.
Right.
Yeah, holy shit.
Right.
There is
Like-
one... Oh my gosh, this was excessively crazy. But there was a game called Lichdom Battle Mage. I don't know if it's around anymore or if it ever actually came out, but it was this incredibly complex magic crafting game where essentially you would kill wizards and you would actually get different spell components that would like things explode after you cast this spell, or it's like a fireball but infects other people and spreads to someone else. And so like
Okay.
it was basically
Chain
this crazy
fireball.
thing where it was basically this crazy thing where it was elements with augments, which was pretty wild.
Cool. I mean, the Dresden Files role-playing game, which I am a huge fan of, does something similar to this, but again, it's like it's like a tabletop role-playing game, so it's not like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
It has a system by which you can create a magic spell in that you tell it what kind of element it's attached to, what you want it to do, and then what mechanical effect you're getting out of it. So like in Fate, like it's based on, you can attack, defend, create an advantage, or overcome an obstacle. And you can choose one of those things that your spell does, right?
Mhm.
So
Always use electricity.
electricity is a good choice. But yeah, so like you thematically tie the element that you're using to the mechanical effect that you want, and then you cast the spell by rolling dice, obviously.
Mhm.
If you do really good, the spell goes off without a hitch. If you do really bad, you can still make the spell go off without a hitch, but it hurts you. Like there's a magical backlash for trying to make the spell work when you're not good enough to make the spell work.
Hmm.
You can do that until you die.
I mean, if you're that crazy, I guess.
Right. No, like if you are desperate to make that spell work, you can heroic sacrifice and hero yourself right out of the game to make your spell go off properly.
Are we still talking about anime? 'Cause
Yeah.
that sounds like every final episode of anime that I've ever watched.
Right.
Except somehow they never die.
Except they don't die.
Yeah.
They just take a whole bunch of consequences. It's fine.
So
It's
many
fine. It's fine.
They might be dead for like 2 weeks.
Right. That also.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the dead for 2 weeks, but oh gosh, they woke up and it's medically impossible. But who fucking cares?
Comic book dead.
Yeah.
I'll be back once the next writers show up.
Which is its own kind of magic.
It is. Yeah. The
Right.
magic of plot.
Exactly.
Plot magic.
Holy crap! Let's talk about plot magic for a second.
I don't know if there's anything.
No, there's nothing to say
elaborate on.
about that.
No,
really.
it's basically whatever you make of it. Fucking whatever you write goes right.
Exactly. But yeah, like I love that shit. Like not plot magic, but I love it when spells have an inherent risk to casting them.
Yeah, right.
Like I think that's ultimately the thing that I like the most about magic, or like a particular type of magic. I love it when there's a cost. That's not just like strictly speaking a resource, like, oh, I have to use a spell component, or I only have 2 of these a day. Like I want there to be like a tangible, physical narrative risk to actually doing magic, right? And
Yeah.
it kind of like works with Enderal as well, because like you're dooming somebody else in your past. Or like
Right.
in an alternate reality where they were going to cast the spell, but you took it from them.
Yeah.
Like, granted, the risk isn't to you.
Yeah, right.
You have to be kind of okay with the fact that you're going to end up murderizing yourself a whole bunch in order to make it through alive.
I feel like we should probably add time travel, alternate universes, and mindfuckery as a
Time
as a
travel,
topic, because I was just thinking to myself, right?
Yeah.
What gives you the right to take the magic from someone else, assuming that your reality is in fact the reality?
Right.
But I
Well,
feel like
it's-
that's a discussion for another topic.
Right. That's definitely it.
How fucking presumptuous of you to assume that your reality is the only reality.
Best. Oh man. Okay.
Check your
I have
privilege.
so much stuff about it.
Time travel, other realities, and fuckery. I'm just gonna
Mind
call it-
fuckery. Yeah.
and mind fuckery.
Yeah.
All right, that's on the list.
Cool. Awesome.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
We'll never know.
But yeah, man, like, shit's just cool. Love.
No, totally, yeah. I mean, my favorite thing about magic is, all of a sudden, like, as long as you put the time into it, you can do impossible and amazing things. And I think
Right.
that's what really is the quintessential charm of magic, right?
Yeah, you can look
Exactly.
like a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my
man.
my favorite thing about magic is how many different ways there are to do magic.
That's true, yeah. Yeah, you're not like,
Everybody has their own flavor.
yeah, it's exactly, yeah.
Yeah, man. No, like, so if we're gonna do the the thing I love about magic the most, I love how magic changes the way people view the world, right? Like
Mm.
when magic is an option, like the level of like choices and like directions that like a story can go like changes infinitely, and it is one of the coolest things to see how magic affects the way a story would go, right?
Mhm.
Like whenever I'm like, and like I'll give you guys like an inside perspective from something that I do whenever I'm playing or whenever I'm running a game of like D&D or any other game that I'm playing. Whenever there's magic available for the players to utilize, I am infinitely like I'm way more into finding out what happens, because there's this there's this avenue of the way things work that I don't have a full appreciation for at the time that I'm sitting down to like plan things, right? So like Ving realizes that he has a spell on his list that I had forgotten about and that he had forgotten about that's perfect for like a situation that I've set up, right? Or Poison is playing a game that I'm like running and like has the ability to like shake down an entire building. Chooses to do that. And then also lives with the ramifications of maybe accidentally hurting people inside the building. Like, and then there's me. I blew something up that I wasn't supposed to blow up. It's fine. I'm cool with having blown it up, and what might have happened inside that building is completely up for, you know, whatever happens, right? So anyways, like aside from that shit, like I love that freedom that comes from magic in any kind of fiction or reality that one like happens to inhabit.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, cool stuff. But yeah, no, Obster, we're just talking about magic in general as a sort of discussion topic. And we've talked about the different ways of casting magic and different sources of magic, different like methods and all this sort of stuff. But yeah.
Flavors of magic.
Flavors of magic. Necromancy.
That's cheesy.
Cheese magic. I prefer grainy magic.
Oh gosh, what have I started? You just wave your
I
beer.
just wiggled it, yeah.
The magic of alcohol.
The magic of alcohol.
Now we know.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Oh,
it
my.
is.
Thought it was science.
What did you think health potions were made of?
You're not wrong. They just make you feel better. You're still bleeding. Going.
I believe there's a potion called like Bear's Courage or something like that.
Oh yeah. Nice.
I believe it's actually Bear's Strength. Regardless, not important.
Yeah. All right, cool.
But yeah, man.
I think we'll stop there for the day.
Legit.
Awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
But yeah, so we'll stop there for the day. I'm not sure what we'll talk about next week because I'm never sure.
I was about to say we never are.
Because we never are. We just sort of, come up with a topic, or we have some listed down that we go to. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. I will be transitioning over to Fallout 4. So yeah, I'm going to put on the standby screen and switch over, change the dashboard and whatnot. But thank you for joining me, Saber and Poison. Thank you.
Is it Far Harbor today?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
I think I want to do Nick Valentine's companion quest first.
That's fair.
Because I feel like he's a huge part of it. And I didn't bring him in my last playthrough, so. Yeah.
All right, sweet deal.
Cool. But yeah.
All right, man.
So I'm going to switch over, and I'll be back in a second. See you in a bit.
Deal. All right, man. See ya.
Bye.